He also insulted all Africans.
I think they forgot to say thank you to us. It's not a big deal. It will come with time.
There is a part that caught my attention where he talked about ingratitude.
Gratitude, I am well aware, is a non-transmissible disease to humans.
He is human. Our ingratitude is not transmissible to him. This is how this gentleman sees Africa, sees Africans. We are not human. In his eyes, I think that if he is not an atheist and he prays, every morning when he wakes up and prays, he should also pray to the Africans. Because it is thanks to our ancestors that there is a France today. He should pray to us.
Let me set this up, but General Langley, I got a message for you that I want to speak directly towards you. And I want to speak to people around the world, period. Understand, this is the mindset of those who colonized, those who brutalized African countries, Indian countries, Southwest Asian countries during this great time frame that they thought that they were exploring, where they were just colonizing. And now they want those countries that they've pillaged to give thanks to them. People look at Haiti and say Haiti is a poor country. No, Haiti is a very rich country. The problem is the fact that Haiti had to pay back redemptions for winning their freedom from France. And they had to pay them back. Did America have to pay England when it won its freedom? Did the French have to pay the French monarchy when they got their freedom? Of course not. But when it comes to other people, they somehow owe a debt of gratitude. They owe some gratitude to the colonizers, to the ones that came and took from them. Africa has never been poor. Never. It has always been rich. The people there have always been rich. The problem is that what Europeans said was rich meant rich, not what the Africans said. The problem is that in order for the Europeans to become rich, they needed the minerals, the soil, what was in Africa, the poor people. They needed the poor people's stuff to become rich. You see how that doesn't make any sense. But this guy, Macron, is just a personification of what goes on with all of them across the board. All of the Western countries who have been chaining Africa up and utilize those chains to stand themselves up. All of them are just of that same mindset, including this country, America, and especially America. And now I want to speak to America. And before I speak to General Langley, I want you to have this in your mind. When the 13 colonies revolted against the British Crown, you claim victory and you celebrate this every year. 4th of July, you celebrate this day of independence. Captain Traore liberated his people from a government that was a sycophant to Western powers. He had the same type of revolution that you celebrate on the 4th of July. You are now the hypocrite when you say you want to get involved in that he's a criminal. Would you not say the same thing about your founding fathers? Would you not say the same thing about those who upset the French monarchy during the French Revolution? But no, you don't say that because it's a long time ago and you've reaped the benefits of it. Are you afraid that other African nations will start reaping the benefits of the fact that they are becoming self-contained? Because that is what Traore is doing. He has been making it where they are self-contained. They just installed a huge cashew factory, which put 20,000 people to work. He's doing for his country, not doing for the benefit of France. And this upsets you. This upsets you grievously. You celebrate people like Dr. King. Did he not upset the balance of power in America? Whereas black people had zero power in America, but now have gained more and more power in America? Did he not upset that balance of power? And did not people look upon him as a criminal, but now he is celebrated? What's the difference between Traore and Martin Luther King? Absolutely none. They both sought to liberate their people, to gain fairness from their people. We were suffering under Jim Crow laws. Burkina Faso suffering under the laws of France, the pressures of France, and he freed them from that. And now you're upset. And then you want to send in a black general, General Langley, Marine Corps, Simplified Devil Dog. I understand the pressures that you're dealing with. As a former member of Headquarters Marine Forces Europe, but not in the level that you're at, of course, back in those days, AFRICOM was part of Headquarters, or part of EUCOM, European Command, under General Mize during my time frame. And I say that only so that you can validate it and know that I'm not just making some bullshit up. But I do understand to a certain degree, because we dealt with nation building and dealing with foreign nations. I get it. But there is something that you did 20, 30 years ago. You stood in front of a group of people and you said, I swear to defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Let me ask you a question. When did Burkina Faso attack America? When did Burkina Faso attack an American base on foreign soil? Because the American base on foreign soil is actually American land. When did Burkina Faso attack an American base? When did they attack an American consulate general or embassy? When did they become an enemy of America and launch an attack that now you must go and defend? You see, if you have access to a certain part of my record book, General Langley, which I'm sure you would, in 1991, I was charged with mutiny because I disobeyed an order. Now, my sergeant major charged me with that. Well, my staff sergeant charged me with that. My sergeant major is the one who did the formal charge. But by the time it reached the ship's captain on the USS Nashville, it was dropped because the order was not a lawful order. Do you have the honor, the courage, and the commitment to be able to recognize that any involvement in Burkina Faso is not a lawful order that you have to follow because of a political regime? You did not pledge to a political party. You did not pledge to a political doctrine. You did not pledge to a president. You pledged to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And as a black man, you should be celebrating what Burkina Faso is doing. Look, the reality is this. Every kingdom rises and falls. The kingdom of America has risen and has fallen, and it will pivot. But when you try to pivot to maintain the old, you will often find yourself in the grave. The pivot is now that Africa will become free. Africa will not be held down by colonizers any longer. Whether it takes now or the next 50 years, the continued process is there. We've been watching this since Mandela and Gaddafi, and now with Traore, with the East African Federation. We've been watching this going with Kagame. We've been watching this. It's going to happen. And America is missing out on the pivot. If America had any sense, it would pivot into fair trade and fair agreements. But they're mad because Russia and China are doing it better than America and France is doing it. So let's not follow alongside the ones who are going to fail in their pivot and wind up causing a nation to suffer, because that's what will happen to the nations who can't suffer. Just like a business, when it doesn't pivot well into a new idea, it fails. Wells Fargo has pivoted throughout its long career and is still around. It started out as a wagon delivery service. Now it's a bank. And there's been many other things before and after that. Langley, it's not a lawful order. Don't follow it. Stand up. Be a man. Be a Marine. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.